Good morning, Coach Biker here. Look at me on my Norton. So, this is a Norton 961 SP, and it's very different to my bike. Now, I've just ridden here through the rain on my bike with reasonable protection, sophistication, smoothness, directions, and now I'm on this. A post Stuart Garner 2023 Norton Commando. Wow. So it's very lots of vibrations through the foot pegs, but low frequency. That's not unpleasant. It's just commensurate with the style of this bike. The mirrors and the handlebars actually feel okay, which is a good thing. So don't like vibrations through the handlebars. You are leaning forward quite a bit more than I was expecting, though I have seen people who said the same. But once you get going, because you've got no screen, the air pushes you back, takes that all off your arm, so not too bad. Now, I did find when I started it up, it was all a bit clunky. It didn't seem to want to start particularly. A bit like bikes of old. And it's very mechanical feeling, very old school. The left foot peg had flipped up. It doesn't flip back down again, which I'd also seen, but I wondered where my foot peg had gone. Had to look down, and it was okay. The MZ's the same, my old MZ. Once you get going, great. It feels a lot smaller than I was expecting. Quite a small bike, but beautifully traditional looking. Not sure about the font on those clocks, if I was being picky. This looks like it's done 1,225 miles, so it's running. It's a 23 bike. These are a little bit cheap and nasty. I think I'd put a sock over them, preferably with Norton on, but it's alright. The mirrors are of their type. Probably leave those actually. Probably wouldn't bother with bar ends. The view's quite good. They're not vibrating. The foot pegs are. So unfortunately it's a very wet, cold morning. This is late June, or it's almost July, and look at the weather. And it's cold. I've got my heated gloves on, but as I'm on a Norton, I've got my leather jacket. You got to, really. I did have a waterproof jacket on when I arrived, but I've taken it off. I'm not riding a Norton with a waterproof jacket on. Now there's some vibes. So I'm used to riding bigger bikes, and it feels quite sort of petite. But at my size, 5'9", my knees fit in nicely into the tank. I tell you, it's another bike that could have been made for me. Now, if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I've got 3 bikes that I'm looking at. 2 similar, and this one totally different. Due to various reasons, my long distance riding is being curtailed for the time being, so I am quite tempted by something for short range riding that I can have miniature adventures on. And whoa! Woohoo! This is amazing. It's amazing in ways that maybe I shouldn't like. It's crude, unsophisticated. Vibrations through your groin and your feet. Still the hands are okay, which is a good thing. It's only got 5 gears. It's got no fuel indicator. It's got no gear indicator. It's got no navigation. It's got ABS and a throttle. Off you go, mate. That's it. I do own an MZ 125 from the 80s. You may have seen it on the channel. If not, check out the playlist. And this is like a much more refined version of that, but compared to modern day bikes, it's quite old school. But that's why you'd have one, isn't it, really? I don't think these sort of bikes will be around for much longer, so it'd be a bit of a keeper. Whoa! Fantastic roar on it. Don't pull out. Bit of fork dive on the front brake, but they're very good. Now, one of my tests that I like in a bike is the rear brake. Now this has got Brembo brakes on it, so what's the rear brake going to be like? Nobody behind. Here's we go. Can we stop? It's not bad. Probably have to adjust it up a little bit, but yeah, it's okay. I like a good rear brake. It's not as good as the Ducati that I rode the other day, but it's still quite good. So when you're trundling along, as I am at the moment, at 20-30 miles an hour, you are on, I don't know what I'd call it, not so much on your wrists, but on your elbows. You bend forward a little bit. You've assumed the position. The feet are quite high up, but feet are into the tank though, which is good. And slide back on the seat a bit, lean forward into the wind, and you're ready for the motorway. I don't know how you would take this touring. I suppose there's always a way. I asked the sales people and they said that there is a pillion seat optional for an extra 275 quid, which just swaps out, you get the tail unit as well. Some people, he said, just take the tail unit off and strap the luggage to where the seat would be. So that would be okay for a single person. If there's two of you, you'd have to take a rucksack each, travel light. No turbulence, very smooth air, as you'd expect. Doing legal speed limit here, but I'm going to hit the motorway in a minute, just to give me a bit of an idea of what it's like at higher speeds. Mad as it may sound, this really reminds me of Campbell 01's Spark Pillion 401 from the seating position and the general sort of feel. I think Campbell 01 would like one of these, if you're watching, Rob. The question for me is, would this be enough of a bike for my requirements, which are at the moment half-day ride-outs, full days at the most, maybe cross the country with some luggage. I think I'd know I'd done it, put it that way. So, but there's quite a bit of joy in having those little adventures. Of course, when you stop like that, look, you don't know what gear you're in, but fortunately I think I was in first. And then you get, whoa, you get all kinds of drama as you set off. It pulls well, and the headlight must work because the car let me through, so that's good. No automatic indicators. But anyway, here we go, onto a motorway. Let's see what it's like. Just going to do one junction. As you can see, it's really busy today anyway, but I'll see if I'm getting the outside lane. There's 60. It's not even try. Open the throttle, and we going. There's 70. It actually all smooths out at 70 miles an hour, believe it or not. Fifth gear, 60 miles an hour, 4,000 revs. A little bit of awareness in the handlebars, not much. If I can get a break in the traffic, I'm going to go a bit faster. Here we go. So, fifth gear, under throttle. There's legal motorway speeds, anchor down. Yeah, you feel the wind, I'm sure you can hear it, but because you're leaning forward, it's actually okay. How long for, I don't know, but it certainly can hold its own on the motorway. How long I'd be prepared to ride it for, I don't know, but it certainly can do, I don't know, a couple of 100 miles a day maybe, would be alright. I wouldn't want to do more than that. No quick shifter, so the only way you know you're in fifth is when you can't go up anymore. No slipper clutch as far as I know. What an experience. It growls through your throat. It feels like I'm growling, to be honest with you. Yeah, it definitely got that feel of it being a handmade bike. Somebody's made this with their hands, which is a good laugh. I like that. Luckily I ride an MZ. I can understand why somebody like the Missenden Flyer, where they like this Honda Goldwing, wouldn't get this bike at all. I get it. I think it's quite amazing, really. Listen to it tick over. Sounds like a truck. Let's go. Oh, flip the peg up. Twice I've done that now. You'd have to get used to that. I mean, it is brilliant fun. This is not boring. Now here's a bouncy bit of road that I went over earlier. Let's try it with the Olins. Yeah, you get bounced around. Yeah, so it's yeah, quite firm on the suspension. I'm sure I could adjust that. It's like a lot of things, you need to get used to it. Let's pull over and have a little look. Side stand's weird. Okay, so what a beaut. The first thing I can say about this bike is it's absolutely beautiful. Smells of hot engine. It's a beautiful looking thing. Sounds marvellous. Terrific. Olin suspension. I'd have to have it in the black. Right, things that have surprised me is, first of all, quite how leaned over you are. But as I say, going down the motorway, it was quite pleasant to have the wind lift you back up again. It's no Panigale, but then doesn't have the engine for a Panigale. I think you'd have to be very careful with those exhausts being so low over things like those speed bumps. In fact, it's just a beautiful looking thing. Now I've got heated gloves on because it's got no heated grips, it's got nothing on the dash as far as I can see. There's a button in the middle here, look. Not sure what all that does. 923, 12.4, is that voltage? Mileage? Yeah, trip. I'm guessing that's the trip. So 12.4 volts. Right, so there's your indicators. We've got bulbs, and the same on the back. So everything's bulbs. Now for a really expensive bike, look at this. There's your key. It looks like the key that you'd have to lock your you're double glazing, but that's what you get. I'm guessing it's got a steering lock. Oh yeah, steering lock. Okay. It's got various idiot lights which come on. Don't know what these ones are. Engine light, oil. I think that's the ABS. There's your indicator. So very minimal equipment, but I don't really mind that. It doesn't bother me. I've got the most sophisticated bike in the world at the moment. They've got a tank protector there, which is a good idea because you're actually leaning on the tank. My legs fit in nicely. So in terms of a machine from the past, that's about as genuine as you can get these days. I mean, look at the throttle connection. Look at that. Amazing. Out in the open. That's for your throttle bodies, isn't it? Fuel injection. So it's got fuel injection, it's got ABS, and it's got Öhlins, it's got Brembos. I mean, all that stuff's available online to find out about. I'm not going to bother today, but yeah, these foot pegs, twice now I've knocked them up, so they would be better if they were sprung. I know I've seen a few people say that. It's caught me out twice already. I've only ridden, what, 10-15 miles. There's your rear end. Fantastic, look at it. There's one thing I've got to do though. I'm going to have to do it. I'm sorry, people at the church, but I can't not do this to make it authentic. It's idiosyncratic, it's quirky, but it's unique, and I guess that's what you pay for. I think I'd have the black wheels. The key is a joke. The font's a bit, yeah, I don't know, but everything else, tremendous old school feeling of a bike. But would I have one? I really don't know. You'd have asked me when I was 14 to draw a motorbike. That's it. Which reminds me of when I first saw a Norton Commando. I was 14 years old and I'd been sent out of woodwork by my crazy woodwork teacher who used to throw chisels at you. Me and wood didn't get on, it just split, and he'd go mental. So he'd always send me to Mr. Martin, who was a dead cool metalwork teacher. And I loved metalwork and I was good at it. And he didn't throw chisels at you. His only foible was he had a telescopic fishing rod that he would give you a tap on the shoulder with if you weren't doing what you're supposed to. Gentle guy, taught me lots of things that I use every day of my life since. And he had a really well equipped metalwork room which you just don't see anymore. Lathes, we had a smelter, we had a blacksmith's furnace, anvil. It was brilliant. I was very lucky to have met him. Anyway, one day as I was sent from woodwork to metalwork for extra metalwork, which I used to do, in the car park of the school was one of these, the original 850 I think, and I just got a moped. Me and my friend Wilk had both got mopeds, and I learnt to ride by John Spendler's school, which is the same school that Peter Hickman went to, as I often say, at the bus turnaround. And I just got into bikes and I saw one of these and I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life. And now I've ridden the modern version of it, but it feels just like it was from that era. So that's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending upon your point of view. Get used to not kicking these foot pegs up. So your side stand's in an awkward place. I did know about that. It's not too bad. If you've ridden the 690 Enduro R, you can cope with that. The lock is dreadful. That's full lock. So that'd be something you'd have to get used to living with. And once again, I've kicked the foot peg up. riding position is not too bad actually. It's a bit forward, but it's not too bad. Now here's a speed bump, so I'm not going to go over this too fast. No, I cleared it. So we've gone over those speed bumps fine, it's not been a problem. A lot of people said the exhaust's really loud. I don't think it's very loud, but then I've got a Pipeworks on my Honda, so I don't know. Oh, beautiful. Phenomenal. Pull over here for a second. Right, can I go into neutral? I've realised that the neutral is on that side. So, first, neutral. There you go, no problem. Some people said you can't get neutral. Rubbish. So your indicator light's on the right, you only get one whether you're going left or right. And they're bulbs, so it's not the brightest thing in the world. A bit like myself. Right, motorway, here we come. It's tremendous. Oh. Listen to them fly, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Authentic. Amazing. So, there you are, I'm on the motorway, doing motorway speeds. No turbulence. Close my helmet. No turbulence at all. Top gear, 5,000 revs. A few vibes through the handlebars, but not much, as you can see from the mirrors. I do see what people say it'd be better with a 6 gear just for cruising, but is it really the kind of bike you want to be cruising up and down motorways on, really? I don't think so. Cruising at 60 in top gear, quite smooth, 3,500 revs. It's a very poundy twin. I mean, that's the nature of it. It's air cooled, handmade, an amazing thing. I love it. So which bike would I choose? The super sophisticated Honda, the beautifully put together and marvellous Ducati Desert X, or the, not agricultural, but the authentic feel of the 70s Norton Commando 961 SP. Let me know what you think. Given I'm only allowed to ride a 1 day a week now, I don't know. The other two bikes would be a waste of the bike. This one, you could say, a waste of the money because it's so expensive. At the moment they are £16,500 this bike. You do get pinstriping, you know, that's worth quite a bit. But they are doing I think they said £2,000 off, so that's 14.5, and then up to 1,500 extra on your trade-in of your bike if you trade one in. So effectively 3.5 off 16.5, so that's £13,000 for something that's unique. I mean, there's nothing else around like this. Oh, stick or twist, Ducati Desert X. Oh, 50 miles an hour, this is just brilliant. Ducati Desert X, Africa Twin, electrical suspension, adventure sports. Oh, Norton Commando 961 SP, gadget free. Look at me clocks. I'll leave it to you. Codge Biker is out. Having a great time. Might just take this down some of these other lanes actually. I don't want to go back yet. Oh, sing to me. Is that how you sing? Whoa! Oh, I feel like Toad of Toad Hall.